We're on the road to Tavetta to do a hydrogeologic survey. This survey is the first step in drilling a water well in Kenya, East Africa. Our mission started with a group of devoted servants of God from the Tabernacle in Branson, Missouri. Our team wanted to go on a mission trip to minister to the women and children. We also wanted to help the brethren to learn more about their Hebrew roots in Christianity. We did this by offering as gifts talits, shofars, and educational materials like books full of Hebrew prayers. Our ladies also taught their ladies a style of Hebrew dance called Davidic dance. Toward the end of the planning stages of our mission, we were given a unique privilege to try to drill a water well for a rural Messianic church. We researched the challenge and were put into contact with Dr. Mike Johnson of Groundwater Solutions. After working out the details in an excellent meeting, where all parties were putting God first, we agreed to survey a site near the base of Mount Kilimanjaro called Tavetta. On our way, we went by Amboseli National Park, where we saw mixed herds of wild animals. After hours on the road, we left what seemed to be the last civilized town named Leo Tok Tok. As we traveled, the road became ever more challenging. It had been raining in the area, and the ditches were full. At times, the road seemed impassable. We encountered several herds of sheep, goats, and cows, where in Kenya they have the right of way. At times the road was extremely rocky and the van shook wildly. The driver told me this was called the African massage. We had to ford some river crossings where we couldn't see if the road had been washed out or not. With complete faith in God, we drove on. Later on this evening, when we came back through this way, the water was much higher. We stopped for a short break where a dragonfly danced in front of us. We also saw some extinct volcanoes. One had some cell phone towers, and our well site would be on the other side of this volcano. As we traveled on, the road seemed to get drier and drier, and at times you couldn't tell which part of the road to drive on. The driver told me the road seemed to be in pretty good shape, though. The last time he had come through here, it had taken him 5 hours. Today, it would only take us 2. As we approached a junction, we were told that we would meet Pastor Kenyatta Numbuki here, and that he would show us the rest of the way to the well site. This road seemed a little busier, and I believe went on into Mombasa. We started seeing these huge trees called baobab trees. This road was extremely dry and dusty. Every time we kept catching up to these vehicles, I thought we could pass, but they just kept leaving us in their dust. We turned onto a narrow road that was just lined with thorn trees and thorn bushes. You could see where someone had come through and cut some of the thorn bushes, and the trimmings were still laying on the road. Hours from Nairobi, I was afraid we were going to get flat tires. And also, I kept wondering, how are we going to get our well drilling equipment down this road? We encountered some gullies that proved to be challenging. Some of us got out of the van. One gully in particular was deep, and we couldn't really drive on one side or the other of it.
Trying to fill up the gullies.
This one we had to fill with a piece of log and by putting some dirt around the edges of it.
Angechimba pande hiyo kweli?
Kuja mbio, kuja. Asiende huko ila kama uingie hivi. Sababu hapo
The driver had to drive as close to the fence as he could. As he entered into the gully, sometimes the van looked like it was on 3 wheels. I wondered how Miss Eileen and Dr. Johnson felt about this, as they were still inside. We made it past the gullies, and as we headed into this area, we couldn't really tell which way to go.
There we go.
After hours on the road, the van finally came to rest under the shade of an acacia tree. The teams unloaded and started carrying the equipment toward the well site. As the team disappeared again into the bushes, I wondered where were the lions and who had the lion gun anyway?
Are you trying to sleep? Huh? When God bless me.
We stopped for a water break, and we chose a site in front of a huge termite mound. After the site was chosen, they set up the equipment.
Loose pigs. Today our work is just construction.
As Moniki tells us that these trees will mark the position, I couldn't wait to go over and check them out a little bit closer.
A V-shaped thing. Huh?
Okay, here we are. We've reached the well site location. We're getting ready to do some geologic survey, and we're at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro in the Tavetta region. So we're getting ready to find out if we got any water underneath here so we can see if we're ready to drill a borehole well. God be with us. Thank you.
Right there is the vector. That's where they put it down on both sides.
Here comes the pastor for the church, and there goes the geophysicist. Stop and give us a word, Pastor. Tell us your name.
Pastor Kenyatta Ndabuki,
Where are we at?
Tavetta.
Tavetta.
Yes, Tavetta.
Very good.
This area we call it Tavetta Settlement Scheme. Yes,
Praise the Lord.
this area.
As Sebastian, our geophysicist, operates his equipment, you can hear the electricity being sent down into the ground.
Piga mtarekebisha, piga.
Sebastian's assistants were constantly uprooting, then driving back in the electrical spikes at 1 meter increments away from the equipment.
Tayari.
When everything was in place again, he sent another charge.
Songa.
How do I put it?
Assess?
No, to confirm whether that is the line of water. Okay, I have done some assessment here. This is where I've been before. I have been now, and I saw a line like that. Now I don't know whether this line goes like that, or there's another one here and another one here to say that there's a line here. So I'm just trying to confirm that. But this I've confirmed, that one I've confirmed, that one I selected, which is this one.
Okay.
So now I want to find out what's the line of water. What
And
it
you-
is that I think you can also see here is that the hillside is this and the gradient goes down this side. So it means that the slope is this side. The movement of water is more or less like that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. This one, I think, is a clear one that all of us see.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is a geophysicist doing?
Is trying to find out what are the characteristics of the ground.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it will tell us that at that given point that I've selected,
Yes.
there are rocks, there are soft material, and where does the hard rock is. So in other words, we're trying to establish where is the aquifer. Okay. So what it's doing there is to send currents down, and then it tries to find out the conductivity of the subsurface. So when we know the conductivity of the subsurface, it will be either resistant or less resistant. If there's water, it is less resistance. If it is dry and there's no water, it is so hard, it becomes difficult for penetration of currents. That's what it's doing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The most difficult part is to try to find which is the area to probe.
Okay.
So that one I've sorted it out for him.
Okay.
So let
Thank
me
you.
just confirm this and then
Okay, thank you, Dr. Adi.
At the end of the day, we had done 2 surveys at this location. The second one seemed promising as we had 3 rivers of water flowing underneath at different depths. Pastor Kenyatta then took us back to his house, fed us an excellent meal, and sent us on our safari back to Nairobi. 3 days later, when the official report came out, the cost was going to be prohibitive to drill at this site.